The next trend is miniaturization. All across this show is coming down. You know, the tablets are now coming down to 5 inches. A lot of things are coming down in size. Your USB ports, your portable chargers, everything is being miniaturized. Well, for the industry, we have the Lego minis, and now they're just huge. They can't even keep them in the stores. They've got collectible books. Last fall is when they really started playing up the little Lego minis, and now they have a new one that's launching this January, just next week. It's called Ninjago. So it's a little minifigure that goes on a spinning top, and it comes with a trading card system. But it's, once again, pocket money, very affordable. It's like $7.99, and kids can go out and play with it. Here at the show, we also have the headphonies. You have them in your bag. They're like little, you can play your music through their speakers, but they look like urban vinyl collectibles. And they also have a lot of different urban vinyl collectible. There's a collectible line. They have at least 12 to 15 of them now, and they're growing in popularity. Over in the South Hall, they have Memobots, which are USB ports, little USB flash drives, but they're in the shape of action heroes. So you've got Batman, you've got Superman, you've got all kinds of different characters, and you can take them with you, but they're also fun, and they're usable because they're a USB. Zubies, Mommies and Babies, I don't have a picture of it there because it's a toy fair, but they told me I could talk about it. If anyone's familiar with, oh, sorry. Trying to give me a little chunk there. The Zubies, Mommies and Babies, if you're familiar with the Bakugan characters, where they have the trading cards, you have the trading cards that have a magnetic screen. It's more low-tech than high-tech. But this year, it was all about boys and battling and little balls that roll, etc. Now they have a girls' version of it, and they come alive on their little happy tats. And it's all controlled by magnetics, but it's a really fun way for kids to collect, and it's very affordable. So the whole miniaturization thing ties into the affordability trend as well. Yep. I've got one more on this one. The remote control racing. Next year, or this year, in about a month, we're going to see a lot of products that are coming out that have 2.4 gigahertz. It doesn't mean anything to most people, but they're small vehicles similar to this vehicle here, like a Hot Wheels sized vehicle, and a little bit larger. But they will race at 400 mile per hour speed. I mean, huge, fast, really fast.
Scale.
But 400, yeah, scale. 400 mile per hour scale speed. But the cool thing is that now you can race 10 cars at the same time.
That's called a bullet.
Yeah, actually, that's not the name, but that could be a name. There's at least 3 companies that I know of right now that are going to be introducing in the next month. I can't tell you the names of the products, but the companies are Spin Master, Thinkway, and Silverlit. But really hot new technology tied into kids' toys, and you've never been able to raise more than 2 radio frequency, but this is a different frequency, and now kids can race 10 at a time. So,
all set?
All set? Yep.
Okay.
Okay, the next trend at the show, we're talking about intelligent devices here at the CES show, ones that actually tie into this one, for the toys, is we tie into, I'm calling it brain power. MindFlex by Mattel, there's a MindFlex Dual. Last year there was MindFlex where you tested your brain power to make something move. Now you're head with someone else. So you're both sitting on either side of that device, and you're competing with someone else just with your brain power, trying to make this little ball move across the thing based on your alpha or beta waves. So it's a fun competition, and it's kind of an intelligent device in that sense. Tablet PCs, we heard about the Vinca earlier today, or the Vinci, sorry, and it's a tablet PC for kids. So tablet PCs are the imagine there's even tablet PCs for kids. Okay, next. We talked about transmedia storytelling. Monster High is a great example of that. It came out last September and already was just huge. Kids discovered it. It went tied into the whole back to school. By Halloween, there were costumes already, and she was Frankenstein. There were books out there. There were music videos. everything, and the kids were finding it and sharing it with everyone else, and that was part of the popularity, is they felt they were discovering it and finding it and being able to share it with other kids. And then the streaming content and videos, this little car that she talked about here, this one, you actually, while it's racing on the track, you're getting a racer view of what's happening. So as you're doing the loops, that's you. I mean, you can see the loops happening as if you were driving the car, which is awesome technology. It totally ties in.
And the Airhogs has a helicopter that does the same thing. You can fly around the room and watch yourself crash into the tree.
Yeah, you can spy on your neighbors. It's kind of fun. That's
Sort of. You don't want to take it outside.
Well, but you can play with it.
Seriously, don't take it outside.
It's a helicopter with a digital camera attached to it, so you can take pictures as it's flying. And those were the trends that I had, because I just wanted a quick touch upon some of the trends that tie into CES.
Thank you so much, Renee.
And Toy Fair is February in New York City, February 13th through the 16th. And it ties to Engage Expo, which is another way that we'll talk about apps and what's happening with technology. So both of them are co-located in New York City at the Javits Center.
Caitlin, how did
was really about trying and testing in the app space. So our kids entertainment players, they were trying out the money models, they were testing developer talent pool to see, who would be a good partner for their brand portfolios. They were testing the creative parameters of the devices, testing the audience reaction, and trying to come up with some marketing conventions for these product rollouts. So it's very trial and error, and I think we're reaching a point that kind of mirrors the development of the video game industry, in that we've kind of got, there's a model now, I think, for, it's kind of like a cookie cutter model for branded kids apps, which is nice. It's good to get that baseline, but it's really not going to lead to any kind of substantial revenue or success. So what I think is going to happen in 2011 is that it's going to be all about pushing the envelope and really breaking some of those early conventions that we've landed on in 2010. And I think that these creative out-of-the-box kinds of approaches are going to start to lead to some really cool new products in the app space.
I think take that last, what you just said, take that with you out of the room. Very important. There's crazy things going on in the iTunes store, and as Android comes along too, right? It's absolutely. It's going to be a very fun horse race, and we're 8 months into it. Okay, so let's turn to our expert. What do you think about apps? That last trend.
Well, apps is one of the trends I'm talking about.
Renee, I was talking to the expert. Yeah, there's an action. Yes. Sorry. Yeah.
I probably have like over 100 apps.
There you go then. So it's Scott Trailer.
How many of those apps are free apps?
Most of them.
Yeah. Thank you, Scott. Okay, cool. I'm sorry, Renee. I'm friends with these guys too, and so I like to get a little bit. You can get me too. You have a conference coming up.
Yes, we do. Do you want to go to the next slide and I'll talk about it a little bit?
Well, look at that.
It was a good lead-in talking about 2011 being sort of that mold-breaking year, because we're definitely trying to do what we can to support that growth and development in the industry, and really try to connect the kids' entertainment players with the developers that they need to take their apps products to a whole new level. So it's, it's kind of all up there. It's February 15th in New York. It's a one-day conference, and we're hoping that it's going to be a lot of fun and provide some good guidance for everybody next year.
And so, talking about Toy Fair, we moved to our toy expert, Reyne Rice, the trends specialist for the toy industry.
Okay.
By the way, it's really great to have you guys here, and thanks for coming. So good to sit.
I'm not sure if this is on. Is this on okay?
Yeah.
You guys can hear me? All right. So we jump to my slide.
Yes. Work with that. Caitlin, another toy, please.
Do you have another toy you want to share with us?
Um,